Meet the 10 largest helicopters in the world in this video. There aren't many people who aren't at least a little impressed about helicopters. Despite the fact that helicopters have been around for a very long time, many people have never flown in one. The size of a helicopter can also vary, and if you're like most people, the bigger the helicopter, the more exciting it is. Whether you've ever flown a helicopter or not, this is the kind of airplane that most people find mysterious. In addition to being extremely reliable, helicopters are very important for hospitals, police departments, the Navy and, of course, the armed forces. In our video are the 10 largest helicopters in the world. The CH-53E Super Stallion, which was formerly the largest and most powerful helicopter outside of Russia, was upgraded into the King Stallion. The Sikorsky CH-53K King Stallion, which was first created to satisfy the demands of the US Marine Corps, is now the largest and heaviest helicopter in service by the military. It can easily transport 37 soldiers and has a payload capacity of little about 16 tons. The King Stallion was created to transport troops, vehicles, and supplies from ships to the coastline. It can also transport heavy weaponry, several kinds of vehicles, a LAV-25 armored vehicle, and up to 55 men if centerline seats are added. Some of them are also used by the military to restock shipboards. The US Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps all operate this huge helicopter, which combines the speed of a fixed-wing turboprop jet with the capacity for vertical lift of a regular helicopter. Although it serves many of the same functions as helicopters, in this sense it is more of a tiltrotor than a true helicopter. The Osprey can carry 24 soldiers and over 15,000 pounds externally, in addition to more than 19,800 pounds inside. This helicopter can fly twice as fast as other utility helicopters. The Osprey's ability to refuel in the air and even land on ships, difficult terrain, etc., is one of its most intriguing features. The EC-725, sometimes known as the Super Cougar, was created especially to support French search and rescue operations. Its initial delivery to the French Air Force took place in 2005 after its initial flight in 2000. The EC-725 can carry more than 9,900 pounds outside and around 12,500 pounds within. In addition, it may be used to move soldiers, cargo, and wounded. The EC-725 may be equipped with armor plating if necessary in order to perform in battle. It is a long-range tactical transport helicopter with a 28-person carrying capacity. It was created by Eurocopter, which is now known as Airbus Helicopters, and is employed by nations including Mexico, Brazil, Indonesia, and Malaysia, among others. The AW-101 has a number of variations, including anti-submarine warfare and utility versions, and is jointly produced by businesses in Italy and the United Kingdom. It has also been sold to nations including Saudi Arabia, Canada, and Portugal, where some of those nations refer to it as the Merlin. This chopper has a carrying capacity of 26 troops and a payload of up to 11,000 pounds. It's interesting to note that the cargo carried by this helicopter may be carried inside or underslung, and there is a UK version that has room for up to 45 personnel with a payload capacity of over 13,200 pounds. It was created as a cutting-edge naval utility helicopter. The Eurocopter Industries EH-101 was the previous name for the AW-101. The NH-90 had two different iterations in the beginning. The NH-90 NATO frigate helicopter and the NH-90 tactical transport helicopter are the two distinct models. In addition to carrying out assault transport, electronic warfare, rescue, and VIP transport responsibilities, they were also deployed in anti-ship and anti-submarine warfare tasks. One of these models can transport up to 20 personnel, more than 9,250 pounds of exterior payload, and 11,000 pounds of internal payload. The NH-90 has been in use since the middle of the 1980s and is now being supplied to nations including New Zealand, Belgium, Sweden, Australia, and Norway, among others. The biggest production helicopter in the world is the Mi-26. It is known as the Halo in the West, and 20 nations, including Russia and India, are now using it. Its design phase began in the 1970s, and it didn't start flying until 1983, when it could carry cargo as large as the C-130. If set up properly, its interior can hold 60 stretchers or 80 combat-equipped soldiers. The most recent model of this huge helicopter has a payload capacity of more than 55,000 pounds, and has been reported to transport up to 150 personnel in total. The Mi-26 helicopter has the capacity to externally carry certain weights, and it can even transport 2 combat vehicles that weigh more than 22,000 pounds apiece. It is a large aircraft with a cargo bay that is approximately 40 feet long and almost 11 feet broad. The CH-47F Chinook made its first flight in 1961, and the following year it reached full operational status. These helicopters, which have been constructed in close to 1,200 units, have been supplied to nations all over the world. The updated Chinook helicopters producers want to continue producing them after 2060, with the US Army as its primary customer. The CH-47F Chinook can carry troops, equipment for the battlefield, and war supplies. Also, it has been utilized for a variety of search and rescue operations, including parachute drops, medical evacuations, aircraft recovery, and many others. As you can see, it's not only a sizable aeroplane, but also a highly practical one. The Mi-38 helicopter can carry up to 32 soldiers and is used by both civil and military clients. The Mi-38 has an internal cargo capacity of more than 11,000 pounds, and it has an exterior payload capability of more than 15,000 pounds. It was initially intended to be an upgrade of both the Mi-8 and the Mi-17, but it had so many upgrades that a completely new helicopter was ultimately created. The airframe, rotor system, engines, and avionics of the Mi-38 have all been updated. These helicopters were first used by the Russian military in 2018, and the manufacturer currently has plans for several further updated models. The earlier Z-8 helicopters will eventually be replaced by the Changhe Z-18, the biggest military helicopter China has ever purchased. The Z-18 had a large cabin, excellent performance at high temperatures and altitudes, and more powerful engines and a revised fuselage. Titanium and composite materials are used in the helicopter's production to create an extremely durable final product. The Z-18 can carry up to 30 passengers, and it previously set a record by circumnavigating Mount Everest at a height of around 30,000 feet. That was definitely no minor accomplishment for a big helicopter to go so high for the first time. It is called the White Heron in China and was created by Changhe Aircraft Industrial Group. This kind of military transport helicopter is quite new. The Mi-8 helicopter, which is in use in more than 60 nations, can carry 24 personnel, an exterior payload of more than 6,600 pounds, as well as an interior payload of over 8,800 pounds. Around 7,000 variants of the Mi-8 helicopter have been created since the early 1960s. There are still several different versions being made today, and the export version is named as the Mi-17. In reality, this aircraft can perform a wide range of duties thanks to its numerous modifications. This comprises mine clearing and laying, VIP transport, fuel supply to the front line, picture reconnaissance, standard reconnaissance, and artillery fire correction. A Mi-8 that is armed with an anti-tank guided missile, trainable machine gun, bombs, and rockets is also available. Which of these enormous helicopters would you want to ride in if you had the chance? You can share your thoughts about it in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like your video. Goodbye.